Good morning, everyone. Laborio Godino here with this week's edition of the KSPNtv Sports Center. Our goal is to create a hyper-local sports center that will have regular updates on local high school sports as the season begins in August. For now, we do have the Conejo Oaks baseball team playing in the California Collegiate League with the home field at CLU. We have been live streaming their summer games since 2010, and today we are thrilled to have Coach David Solis as our guest. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, we're going to start off with a couple of questions. First off, when did the Oaks get formed to play in the California Collegiate League?
Well, the Oaks, the ABDG, the sponsor flag program of the Conejo Oaks started in 2006. I've been with the team since 2007 or 2008, excuse me, and I was an assistant coach for about 4 years, and now I'm the head coach ever since I finished up the assistant role.
And we also want to know, how do you guys recruit your players?
Oh, the recruiting process, it's I'm not going to use the word complicated, but there's a lot to it. So I'll take you from the beginning to where we are now. And when I first started with the team as an assistant coach, the roster was put together by our head coach and our general manager. And over the course of time, those are the things I wasn't real familiar with when I was the assistant coach, but then I took over being the head coach. And then the recruiting and roster formation came to be one of my responsibilities. So the way it works is, you reach out early on, 2000, maybe 2009 or 10, 11, when I first assumed the head coach, you start making a few calls to coaches. The way it works is, or the way it works for us anyways, is that we do all of our communication with the college coach, not so much the player. The player may inquire through via email, get my phone number, text message, things like that. Hey, I'd like to play for the Oaks. And the short answer to that is, that's great. Let's follow up with your coach first. So all the communications with the coach. So early on, when you're trying to build a program to where I think we are now, where we want to continue to go, you're trying to get the recruiting, from a small, for us anyways, it's a local base. Now we're trying to expand a little bit, nationwide, which requires, more details as far as host families and such. But anyhow, so we start off, and I made a lot of phone calls to a lot of schools, and sometimes a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, and sometimes you get the return call. It takes a while, and it's nothing. The school, they want to do what's best for their athlete, and at the same time, we need to prove ourselves as an organization that we're able to provide a quality environment for these players that'll allow them to develop their skills. So there's a prove your worth, so to speak, or from our end. So from my end, early on, making these calls to coaches, this is what we can offer to your program and your player. We never lose sight of the fact that these are not our players, so to speak. They come from schools with really good coaches, good programs. All we're trying to do is provide an environment that allows them to continue that. And we have a good staff. I'm very confident that we have a quality staff that is able to help and assist and to add to that development of the player. So make a lot of calls. Sometimes you get a player, sometimes you don't get a player, and that's just kind of how it works. But now, fast forward to 2021, and we have, over the last couple of years, we've had a good foundation of schools that we draw from. University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. We started this relationship long ago, and it's really developed into a good relationship to where they send us players every year. University of Arkansas, same thing. This year, we're very fortunate, very excited. We were able to start a partnership with Cal State Fullerton, a very respected baseball school, and so we're able to kind of branch out and increase the number of schools, increase the number of quality schools, quality players, and quality people that we're dealing with. So to answer the question, it's a lot of coach to coach communication between myself, the coaches, and when a player is recruited and signed on, there's more to it than just the player saying, hey, I'd like to play for you. So it really comes down to communication and contacts with the coaches and schools. And then while the players are here, doing a good job of making sure that they're developed and stay healthy, or as healthy as we can be, and treat them right.
Yeah, you guys have plenty of players from all over the country this year. You also want to know more of the most memorable years that you've had as being this coach.
Oh, wow. And I'm going to get the boring line, which you don't want to hear, is every year is memorable, and really it is. And I'll explain that. There's one year that stands out. Don't get me wrong, a couple of years that stand out, and but every year when we start this, we talk. The first day speech, so to speak, to the players is, you're here for player development. You're here representing your school, your family, our organization, things like that. And to see that develop from day one to the end of the summer, it really is a short time, 7 weeks or so. Somebody might say it's only 7 weeks, 8 weeks, but it's 6 days a week. And so today's Tuesday, and we start another week today, Tuesday through Sunday, and our next day off will be next Monday. So over the course of every week, to watch these guys, the players, develop and really work on things that maybe they're coming to. Some players will come to us and say, "Hey, coach, my school wants me to work on this one specific thing." So we try to really do a good job of working on that. And so for that, those are all memorable. 2018 stands out. 2018, we won. We won the CCL, and that was really exciting. In addition to the player development, first day of speech, right? You're here for two reasons. Number one, to develop your skills, and two, anytime you play a game, you want to try to win, and it's okay to want to win, but we don't lose sight of the fact that why they're really here is to develop their skills. So in 2018, we were able to, we were always trying to work real hard for the players and develop their skills, but we happened to put it all together and come up with the CCL championship, which was really fun and exciting. Early on, when I was an assistant coach, there to add to this, there's a whole World Series of summer collegiate baseball, the NBC World Series out in Wichita, Kansas, and we went first couple of years. I think we went 2 or 3 times. We've been out there, placed fourth once, the highest place, when I was assistant coach, and those are really fun times too. But 2018 really stands out.
Yeah, and we know also that you guys have players that were actually drafted. Any most memorable players that you have?
Oh wow, there's a lot of players that have come through who have gone on and been drafted and signed professional contracts. In terms of actual names, I could give you a short list right now, but I know I'd be missing one or two. But it's always exciting to see. Here's a quick story for you. We have players, again, they come in and they'll get drafted maybe a year later, or this year, next year, 2 years ago, or prior to, we didn't play last year due to COVID, but prior to that, year before that, in 19, we played, and we actually had a player sign a professional contract during the summer. So he didn't finish the summer with us. Those are exciting too, player development, trying to help the players move on and to their next phase, so to speak. And that was really exciting. But about, I want to say maybe in 2018, long story. My wife and I, we have two kids, and one lives in Boise, Idaho. They both go to school there. Well, one graduate already. But anyhow, my older brother, was managing with the Boise Hawks, minor league team out in Boise for the Colorado Rockies. So we go vacation there every week in August. So we're going to vacation there, and it just so happened this was right around his All-Star break. Well, he's managing the All-Star team, and I'm looking at the roster, and on the other team, I see a name, Brandon Lewis, and I'm like, whoa, let me do a little bit more research on Brandon Lewis. Brandon Lewis, come to find out, Pierce College, UC Irvine, former Oak. So the night before the All-Star game, they have a little in the downtown Boise area. They have a little celebration for all the All-Stars. Everybody's there. So we go, and I didn't know. I didn't say anything to Brandon at that time. So we're at this little celebration, and I see Brandon on in the courtyard area, and it's for the players and coaches, of course. And so we're there supporting my brother, and I just shoot Brandon Lewis a text message. I just said something like, "Hey, I'll see you tomorrow night." And he or something like let him know I was there, right? And so he kind of looks around, and he's looking around like, "Are you here?" And then so we go back and forth, and lo and behold, the next day we go to the game, and I just kind of happened to my brother's coaching third, and he's playing third base, and I said, "Hey, tell Brandon Lewis that Coach Sully says hi." And so to that, yes, we do have guys drafted, and it's really nice to be able to go follow them wherever they are. And long story short, we got a chance to meet up there, and it was really nice. To see these guys continue their career is really something that is a good experience for them, of course, and for us as well. I'm not saying, like I said, they come from schools with good coaches and good programs, and if we're just a small piece that adds to that, that makes that's what makes every season memorable.
Yeah, and I A reason I said that was I saw on the website Isaiah Campbell. He was drafted in the second round by Seattle Mariners, and
Yeah.
that's pretty crazy.
Isaiah Campbell came to us from the University of Arkansas after his freshman year. And that year, that you're talking about memorable, that summer, we were fortunate enough to play Team USA. The collegiate Team USA was made a West Coast swing, and they're looking for games to play. And we were able to play Team USA at Angel Stadium. So, I've never, I was very fortunate. I played in college, I coached in college, but I've never, played professionally and things like that. But I got the chance to coach third base in Angel Stadium in a summer environment, and that was really exciting. Isaiah Campbell pitched that game for us and threw extremely well, and he's doing very well right now. We've had him and Chad Spanberger, University of Arkansas, many others that have come through. In addition to the guys being drafted, we now have there are former players who are now college coaches, and one of our current infielders, Grant Smith from the University of Incarnate Word, one of his assistant coaches at his school played for us, and that's how the connection where we got him this year. Jack Martyr's an assistant coach at the University of Oregon, and that's how the connection we have with one of our other players this summer. So not only is it the professional ranks, the college ranks, and the career that they're trying to achieve with baseball, whether it be a player or coach, it's really nice. It comes full circle.
Yeah, so we've seen a very expansion of the Conejo Oaks here. Now I want to talk more about this year. You guys are 4-5 in league, 8-6 in record in your overall record. So you want to talk about how your thoughts on how the season's been going so far?
So far, I think 8-6, 4-5. When I tell you that it's been going really well so far, it's not 14-0 or 13-1. Understanding that we had a tough week last week results wise. We had our longest road trip or road trips of the summer, starting last. You talking about the preparation and the development. Last Tuesday, we were down in Pasadena. On Wednesday, we were down at the MLB Academy in Compton. Thursday night in Santa Barbara, and Friday night we were in San Luis Obispo. 4 days in a row on a bus, and that it takes a toll. But at the same time, there's no excuse. We went out, we played hard. It just didn't quite get the results we were looking for last week. So that's part, doing parts of the 8-6 and 4-5. But overall, again, we're not losing sight of the fact that we're here to help these players develop, and in addition, we're trying to win every game. And right now, I believe we're sitting in third place, not too far. There's a little bit of parity right now, it looks like, in the league. And so, it could be movement week to week, day to day, really. So I'm actually very pleased with the effort the guys are putting forth on the field every single day. Our staff is working really hard, and we're looking forward to this week and the weeks to come. But overall, record wise, we don't really look at our record every day. In fact, when you email me the questions, I actually had to research and see what our record was, because I don't really look from the day-to-day record. We just look from today, this is what we're working on. We're going to, and tomorrow we're going to continue to do, and so forth, right? So, but it is what it is, 8-6, 4-5, and we're looking forward to bettering both those records.
Yeah, and you guys have I'm not gonna say a favorable week, but you guys are playing the Barons twice this week, which you guys have beat them already both times. So that has to be a little bit of momentum booster there.
Oh, well, every day, today, tomorrow, every day, the opponent in front of you is, they're always a good opponent. And we're trying to get the guys to understand that we're not playing the team. We're just going to play the game, so to speak. And if we can accomplish what we're really trying to work on, hopefully the results will follow. So for this week, we play Orange County tomorrow too, and we haven't played them yet. So that's the only team we haven't played yet. And we played the Academy. We've done well so far, but they're a really quality team. And so, to that, every opponent is a quality opponent, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, now let's keep talking about stay talking about this year's team. What about any surprising players that you knew they were good, but maybe you saw a little bit extra one this year?
Oh, wow. And getting back to the creation of the roster, we talked to a lot of coaches, and just to give a little more insight, the roster creation starts in late August, early September for the following summer. So, when this summer's over, usually I take about a week or two, and then we start making that roster for next summer. And so, to answer the question, surprises, last summer or last fall, when we really put this roster together, and you contact coaches and hey, we're looking for a first baseman, we're looking for a left outfielder, we're looking for, what, inevitably you start talking to the coach about the player, and you learn more about the player, and, and you learn the names, and then you start following them throughout their season and see how they're doing. But you don't really know them until they get out here, right? Well, so some of the names that, again, I'm not going to, it's hard to, single one or two guys out, but some of the, there have been guys who have had really strong starts to our summer. Brendan Bobo out of Cal State Fullerton, he's our first baseman, or one of our first basemen, and he's put together so far a really nice summer. So surprises, no, but at the same time, they're coming with a lot of talent, and we're starting to see those talents play out on the mound. Cody Adcock out of the University of Mississippi has had two really good outings, and our closer Clay Rickerman, Cal Lutheran player, has had really good outings. So surprises, I don't know about surprises, but they're really performing to their abilities, which is nice.
Yeah, you talk about Brendan Bobo. He's actually one of the league leaders in home runs this year.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's all we have for today. We'd like to thank you. I feel like it was a very good interview. We hope to have you for future interviews.
Absolutely. I appreciate, like I said at the beginning, I appreciate you inviting me on, and I look forward to doing this more often.
Yeah, so definitely stay tuned for next week. We hope to have one next week. My name is Borja Gudino, and we are out.
Thank you.